Hello and welcome to Loudoun County Public Library's Female Leadership Speaker Series, which celebrates the achievements of local women in leadership positions. My name is Susanne Engelhardt and I work at Sterling Library. For today's live conversation, I'm delighted to welcome Chang Liu. She is the director of Loudoun County Public Library. Welcome, Chang, and thank you for sitting down with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
So do we. Thank you. Let me just say a few words about Loudoun County Public Library and you, Chang, before we start our conversation. Loudoun County Public Library has been spreading the joy of reading and learning since 1973 and now serves one of the fastest growing counties in the United States. The library's location in Ashburn, Brambleton, Cascades, Lovettsville, Middleburg, Percyville, Ruston-Leesburg, Sterling, and Gum Spring are rounded out by an outreach service to provide easier access for seniors and a law library to help residents with legal information. Loudoun County Public Library offers hundreds of thousands of print and digital items, public access computers, free Wi-Fi, and a variety of programs for all age groups. Currently, of course, they are being held virtually. Due to COVID-19, the meeting rooms and makerspaces are not available, but the branches are open and offer in-person services and curbside pickup. Chang Liu has been the director of Loudoun County Public Library for the past 10 years. She previously worked for public libraries in the District of Columbia, Arlington County, and St. Louis, as well as the National Library of China. She is a docent for the George C. Marshall International Center and a member of Loudoun 100, another indicator of a positive and lasting impression on the Loudoun community. She has been recognized by major library associations with leadership awards, and thus is a perfect interview partner for this series. Chang, it's a pleasure to have you as a guest today.
Thank you for your kind words.
All right, let's start by talking a little bit about the library. Loudoun County Public Library is an award-winning public library. Can you talk about one or two projects that you are especially proud of since you became director?
It's too numerous to count. I would say two groups of projects. One is new library buildings, and the second one is programming. In terms of new library buildings, since I started as a library director 10 years ago, we have opened or completely renovated 4 libraries. It started with the Gum Spring Library. Then it's in the same year, Middleburg Library was doubled in size, thanks to the Middleburg Library Advisory Board that provided all the fundraising, the design, the construction, and construction management. And then they turned over the new Middleburg Library, which is twice as big as it was before, back to the county, to the Loudoun County Library System. So a big shout out to the Middleburg Advisory Board under the leadership of Dennis Carter. So Gum Spring opened first, and then Middleburg Library, and then it's Sterling Library, which was in a very cramped, co-located space in Sterling Park community, and now it's in this shopping center, and it's the new Sterling Library is 3 times as big as the old Sterling Library, and the fact that the new Sterling Library opened has transformed the entire shopping center and the community. So that was the Sterling Library, and then our newest branch is the Brambleton Library, which is in the Brambleton Town Center, another thriving community. So those 4 buildings, the fact that in the past 10 years, we have been able to open 4 new buildings is a testament to the support from the community, from the Board of Supervisors, the wise and prudent governance of Loudoun County Library Board of Trustees, who are citizen representatives from the community, and also the great work that we have in Loudoun County Public Library, great team we have in Loudoun County Public Library System. All my colleagues, the staff, all of you make Loudoun County Public Library great. And then the second accomplishment is our project is programming. Well, I can say without any reservation that Loudoun County Public Library does the best programming among all the public libraries in the country. I know that because we have the numbers to prove. Before COVID, we did over 10,000 programs for all ages on all subjects that promote the joy of reading and learning. And even during COVID, we quickly pivoted to online programming. This is what we're doing now. And our online programming, again, for all ages, for different audiences on different subjects, has been very successful and are reaching new people. And also even the number of online programs. We started, I believe, with 10 online programs a week last year, about March last year. Now we do over 100 programs online every month. So again, kudos to our programming division and to all the staff, and again, to our community too. So buildings, so libraries as a place for the community, and then programming as a community engagement and educational tool for the library system.
Yeah, you've certainly picked two of the highlights. In fact, today is actually the anniversary of the new Sterling Library being open. That was 4 years ago today. So it's really a sign from fate that we have our interview here today. But yeah, I completely agree. Just the support from the county is phenomenal, and the opportunity to have these physical locations, and of course all the services that are being offered there. Just thinking about Brambleton and also Sterling here, even having a recording studio or having the maker spaces, and really offering more than just what people might think of as a library, books or material. It's really much more than that. And then, like you said, the programming is really outstanding. So Loudoun County Public Library actually earned a Star Library designation, partly due to the outstanding programming. And that means it's one of 262 libraries out of over 5,600 public libraries. So it's really one of the top performing library systems in the country. And I think that's very special. And of course, we hope to keep that going. All right. There are, of course, a couple other awards as well, but we want to get to a couple other questions also. So we're going to move on and talk a little bit more about the public library. You've described working at a public library as your calling. So can you maybe talk a little bit about what sparked your passion for library science and working with the public?
I have to thank my mom for pointing me to the direction of public librarianship. I was born and raised in China. I went to college at Beijing University when I went to college when I was 16. And in China, when you went to college, you had to choose your major ahead of time. And because I have always liked people, I'm a people person even from a young age, and also I loved reading. So my mom said, why don't you go to library school? At that time, you could get a bachelor's degree in library science in China. So I said, oh, that sounds good. So I went to Beijing University as a 16-year-old majoring in library science. That was, as I said, I'm so grateful to my mom who knows me the best. And as I feel so fortunate that I have always loved my job. You know, there are people who do very well in their job, but they may not be passionate about their jobs. There's nothing wrong with that. But I have the fortune to enjoy the work I do and always feel passionate about the work I do. And I love the people I work with. I love the public libraries really provide the perfect combination of the tangibles and the intangibles. The tangibles are the buildings. I talked about libraries being a destination, a community gathering place. The collections, how we have diverse collections that meet the diverse intellectual interests of the community. And we have wonderful staff. And so all of those, even programming, those are all tangibles. The intangible parts are how we are making a difference in people's lives in the long run, right? We offer services, programs, collections for children who are just born, all the way to senior citizens. And we do that, and you think about the intangible impact on people's lives. I believe American Library Association had a slogan, libraries change lives for the better. And I'm a firm believer in that, because you cannot put a price on the joy that the parents see, the grandparents see when an infant, a child just learned to read or sound out words. How can you put a price on a grandma who gets internet access in the library and then for the first time can communicate with their children and grandchildren from far away? How can you put a price on someone who learns ESL, takes ESL classes and check out ESL books and resources and learn to speak English, to become productive citizens, to get a job, to have a family and successful careers? Those are intangibles. Public library really touch on everybody's lives in their entire lifespan. And that's what I like about working in public libraries. That's what motivates me to get up every morning and still excited about coming to work.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I certainly share that sentiment. Libraries are a very magical place, and it is very rewarding to see, like you said, little kids come in and see the joy of them picking out new books, and that goes through the generations. And you already kind of touched upon what I was going to ask next. You've kind of referred to libraries, public libraries, as the greatest democratic institution. And you already kind of said, you know, we are serving everybody, but maybe you can talk a little bit more about what you meant by referring to public libraries as the greatest democratic institution.
Yes, with a lowercase d, the great lowercase democratic institution. Again, 2 words, free and open. We are free because people don't have to pay to get a library card, to check out a book, to attend an event. However, I'm keenly aware we are supported by the community, by the taxpayers. However, the access to the library, so we're here. That's why I want people to use the library more and more, because we're here already. We're already supported by the community, by the taxpayers. All you, meaning a community member, needs to do is to come into the library, get a library card, enjoy all the resources we offer, physical and virtual, and because we are here for you. So free and open. Open, similar to what I said, we do not check people at the door. We don't ask people about their socioeconomic background, their political beliefs, their religious background, their cultural background, their language. We say we're open. All are welcome to come in. We're open also because we are apolitical. We are a community service organization. We are here to provide access to resources so that people can read and learn and grow and make up their own minds about different things.
And thus, libraries are really a key element of the social infrastructure. Without an informed citizenship, there is no democracy. So it's a very, very important place that libraries hold. And like you said, we really serve everybody, from the little ones that are just starting to learn to talk or to read to people in their 80s and their 90s, and it's really fun to see everybody embrace everything that the library has to offer. Nevertheless, there are, of course, a couple challenges that public libraries face, from growing mistrust in government to a purported decline in reading, lack of diversity to the need to have to transform services due to COVID-19. So is there a specific challenge that you can talk about that Loudoun County Public Library is facing right now and how you're handling it?
Yes, I think challenges are always a good thing for any institution or organization, because they keep us on our toes and motivate us to continue to innovate, to go with the times and with the community, to evolve with the community. But having said that, I have to say I'm very proud of the fact that in 2019, the local newspaper Loudoun Now did a Loudoun Now reader survey, asking them to vote for the favorite there are different categories, favorite restaurants, favorite parks, but one category is your favorite government service. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know they were running this survey until they presented us with a banner. So Loudoun County Public Library was voted by Loudoun Now readers as a favorite government service. That was extremely heartwarming. And again, a testament to the great work that the staff do and the wonderful governance of the Library Board of Trustees. But in terms of challenges, I think it's always evolving. The challenges are changing, right? Who would have known that COVID would happen? And so I think, so the challenge is to build a nimble organization so that with a shared vision of serving the public in good times and bad times, and then with a nimble team focus on the mission, which is serving the community, I think we can respond to any kind of challenges that might come our way. So as a library director, I see myself as an ambassador for the mission and vision of the library, advocate, and really seize every opportunity to talk to staff, go out to the community, and also to hire people who already have that kind of mindset, the service mindset, the positive mindset, so that together we can face any challenges that come our way.
As a team, yes. Together we are stronger. Absolutely. Yeah, and it's a beautiful tribute from the community to list the library as one of the favorite services. I think yesterday in our town hall meeting, there was a number, there were 60,000 patrons that were served last month. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely a need and in the community, and luckily people do embrace the library. Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about something that you know more about than anybody else here. You hold library degrees from, as you said, the Chinese, but also an American university, and you've worked in libraries in both countries. Is there anything that American libraries can learn from the Chinese system or vice versa?
I have fond memories of working in the National Library of China. I was a reference librarian. I participated in the move of the National Library from its historic location to its current location. So if anyone who has moved libraries knows the logistical complexity of moving a library, but trying to move the National Library of China from one location to another, and that's in the 1980s. So that's definitely before a lot of, we did as librarians, we did almost all the packing and all of that ourselves. So anyway, that was quite an experience. But in terms of what we could learn from the Chinese libraries, two things I have noticed recently is that they are doing a lot of library and museum co-locations because they are trying to make it the library as a designation, and they want to make sure people have places in addition to sitting down and read a book in the library, that they can go to do some other things, such as visiting a museum in the same building, or go to a very nice restaurant to eat in the library building. So it's all one building, but includes restaurants, museums, and lecture halls, concert halls. I really like that concept, which is related to the next thing is that architecture. China, I have been here living in the US, US citizen for 30 some years, but China has really evolved a lot recently in the past, 20 years, I would say. In terms of economic development. And one thing they have done is that they really have been able to hire architects from all over the world to build some signature buildings. And so there are some beautiful libraries that are being built that the architecture alone makes it a destination. So those are the two things I noticed. I think both are the physical layout of the Chinese libraries. But I feel that we have a lot, American public libraries really are at the forefront in terms of the service philosophy, the open access philosophy, the fact that it's free to the user. And the fact is that we're allowed to collect, and we do collect materials from different viewpoints. Those are all great things for American public libraries.
That's interesting to hear a little bit about this comparison or the different reality. And it's a very interesting approach that Chinese libraries now make it more of a destination, like you said, with a collaboration with museums. So it's very interesting. Might even see that in the United States before too long. So what does a typical day at work look like for you?
There's no typical day, that's all I can say. But let me just tell you today. So I came to work, then I had a phone call with county administration about an important HR issue. After that, I got a email from a community partner saying, can we meet this afternoon? I have an important thing I want to check with you about. I said, sure. So I'm going to meet with this person at 2:30, a phone call at 2:30. Then this morning I was preparing for this interview a little bit. But also I'm checking email, which brings more work, as we all know. After this interview, I'm going to be attending several staff meetings just to drop in. We have our children's and teen librarians meeting this afternoon. I'll be dropping in just to share any updates that we have for the system and also to answer any questions the staff might have. I make myself available to all the staff meetings across the system. Again, I may only stay for 5 or 10 minutes, but I'm there again to provide some update that people might be interested in knowing, and also to make myself available to answer any questions staff might have. And then after those 2 meetings this afternoon, I will be, as I said, 2:30 in between, I'm going to talk with the community partner. 4 p.m., I'm going to attend a phone conference with the Urban Libraries Council directors. Urban Library Council is a national organization of about 200 premier public libraries in the country. And we talk a lot about common issues, innovation. So I'll be attending that meeting at 4. Then this evening, I will be attending as a patron an online program called Great Decisions. That's a staff member at Gum Spring Library has been hosting that series of programs. It's talking about, and the discussions are led by retired State Department officials. It's on hot button issues around the world. Tonight is about Brexit. So I'm looking forward to learning from the facilitator and also from other attendees this evening. So that's my day.
Interesting, but definitely very busy. Did not expect it any different from the director, of course. Plenty of
but I love it. I love it.
Planning, and I think it's probably also nice not to have like the same schedule every day. I think I'll be very bored if my day every day were the same. Let's talk a little bit about leadership. So what do you think, what characteristics an effective leader should an effective leader have, and how do you implement your leadership vision at your current position? You've already said you try to make sure to be available to your staff. That's certainly something that not every director at every place of employment does. So I know that is something that a lot of people really cherish, but maybe there are a couple other things that you would like to highlight.
Yeah, leadership is something I think about a lot, actually, not in a self-important way, but just because I know that it's only fair to staff to have good leaders, right? Otherwise, the other way to say bad leadership makes everybody miserable and makes everybody suffer, right? Both the staff and the community. So I feel I'm a student of leadership, and I always say number 1 is personal and professional integrity. It's so important, and it should be authentic. It's not just, oh, I'm a leader, therefore I need to be to have integrity. No, anybody needs to have everybody should have personal and professional integrity. I think with that foundation, you know, people will respect you even if they don't agree with you. Because as leaders, we do have to make decisions that may not be popular, right? It's part of leadership. Leadership is making tough decisions, but as long as you have personal and professional integrity, as long as people know your heart is in the right place, that you're there not for yourself, but for the community and for the common good, I think people can respect your decision, even if they don't like the decision. And people can still respect you as a person, as a leader, even if they don't agree with every decision you have made. So that's personal and professional integrity. Another is competence, that I do believe that leaders have to be able to do the job well. If you're incompetent, no matter what good heart you have, right? I think it's hard for people to respect you as a leader. You shouldn't be in the leadership position if you can't do the job. Another one is just ability to, there are many, but I just want to highlight a few. One thing I really appreciate in leadership is the ability to effect change while maintaining goodwill. I think it's easy for anybody to say, I want to change this, I want to change that. But how can you maintain goodwill while doing that? Because change is a constant, right? Change is happening every day.
And it's not always easy.
Yes. How can the leader maintain the goodwill while making change? I think that's a measure for someone's leadership quality. And that's where the integrity and emotional intelligence, communication skills, all of that, the goodwill, all of that come in.
And leading by example as well, yes.
Yes, that's part of the personal and professional integrity.
You've actually been recognized by major library associations for your leadership. You've been named a leadership fellow by the Public Library Association in 2010, which gave you the opportunity to complete executive leadership training at the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. And then more recently in 2018, you were also awarded the prestigious Ernest D. Mattia Award for Innovation and Service to the Community and Profession by the American Library Association. Can you talk a little bit about these two experiences and how they have shaped your leadership style?
Thank you. First of all, I'm very honored and humbled by those awards. And again, the credit goes to all the people I have worked with and I work for. But those two awards and the opportunity to study at Harvard Kennedy School of Government, those they are profound. The effect of those has been profound and really affects my work every day. For example, in Harvard Kennedy School of Government, I think one of the things I learned the most or be more aware of is that seek win-win situations. I have learned not everything is a zero-sum game, right? It is possible for both parties, even they have differing views or different positions, to each get what they wanted or needed. So I think that so that's one of the many lessons I learned, is just to look at things expansively and see the possibilities. Don't immediately zoom in and see this one piece and say, okay, this is all we have. So to give this person or this project or this organization more, we have to take something away from someone else. It doesn't have to be that way. Look for win-win situations. And I think that's why we have been one of the few libraries during the pandemic to have been open and safe. Actually, safety and service. We have been open since late May and continuously, and we have been safe because we have not had a single case of in-branch transmission. And we have been able to provide almost all the services that we used to provide to the public. And again, the credit goes to the staff, but that's looking for and instead of but, right? It's not in lieu of something. It's always how can we look for both. So those are some of the things I learned, and also I think the emotional intelligence piece is the higher level you go in the organization, the more emotional intelligence required. And that requires goodwill, listening skills, and humbleness, right? You cannot think this job is about you. It's really about the organization and the community.
And it's very important to keep that in mind. Obviously, you live this. And like you said, positivity and possibility, those are things that we really kind of need to keep at the top of the page and kind of keep an eye on them instead of getting bogged down into, like you say, maybe a zero-sum game, which does not really offer that many possibilities. We only have a few minutes left, or we are really kind of wrapping up here. So if I may, I would like to get 2 more questions in.
Sure.
All right. First one, can you share the best professional advice you've been given, and maybe also who gave you that advice?
Yeah. Again, it's I got it from Harvard. The first one, again, it was drilled in me from the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. It says, do your best job possible. It sounds very simple, but it actually means so much, because I feel like a lot of times people just do, they do something, and before even they are satisfied with it, they said, let me give it to my boss or my colleague, let them make it better. Yes, I mean, we don't mind doing that. I don't mind doing that, but I think if everybody tries to do his or her best job possible, I think that would streamline the process, expedite the decision making, the implementation. So I think because I'm respectful of people's time, right? I think that's when you do your best job possible, you are saving other people's time. And I think we need to be respectful of colleagues' time, our community, our patrons' time. That's the first advice. The second advice is a book I read many years ago called Always Say Thank You. And that's about professional and, again, personal etiquette to have a sincere sense of gratitude for people and things around you. So I'm a big practitioner of gratitude for things big and small. Even if on your worst days, you can find things that you can be grateful for. And I have read that when you practice, at the end of the day, just take account of 3 things you are grateful to. Could be I had a delicious lunch, or I was able to get up and feel refreshed this morning to go to work. Could be small things, but I think that really recenters our mindset and put our mindset in a positive state.
Yeah, those are easy things to
Exactly.
do, but they make a big difference. An easy motto to remember, and very powerful self-motivator as well. So thank you for sharing this piece of inspiring advice. You already mentioned something that you read recently, and that's actually what I'm gonna wrap up with. Do you have a favorite book, and what are you reading currently?
My favorite book I've read, read and reread is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. And I have always liked the book, and I want to read it again because it's really about grit, like how that you can find joy and perseverance, love in some of the most unlikely places, and even under very bleak circumstances. And I think resiliency is that's something I'm also very interested in. A topic I was actually featured in a book about resiliency by a local author, and Doug Hench, yes, and he interviewed me, and I think grit and resiliency are developed through life experiences, right? And so I cherish every moment of my life because that's what makes me me. And I'm proud of the way I am. And of course, I will always learn and grow as a person, but I cherish life experiences.
Yeah, and books are a perfect medium to give us a window into other life experiences or to help us calibrate our own trajectory. So,
And I didn't answer your so what I'm reading now. I'm reading this book. It's called The Seventh Daughter. It's written by Cecilia Chang. I can't remember if she's still living or not, but she opened the first upscale Chinese restaurant in San Francisco in the 60s or late 50s. But her book called Seventh Daughter. She is actually the seventh daughter of a large extended Chinese family. And so her book, Memoir, is a combination of, her life experiences and recipes. It's a beautiful book and also very profound because she's a wonderful, strong woman.
Yeah, sounds like a very interesting book. So maybe somebody will put that on the reading list right away. I've been asking everybody for some book tips to give us a chance to stretch our minds a little bit as well. Okay, I had more questions, but we don't have more time. So I want to thank you very much, Chang, for being a guest today and sharing your experience and your advice with the community. Really appreciate you taking the time. And I think before I'm gonna say my final words, you wanted to say something as well?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for the interview, and I want to thank the audience who are participating today. My story is again, it's not about me. It's really about all the people who have made my life a joyous and rewarding and fruitful journey so far. And I want to thank all my past and present colleagues and bosses, and for my family. I love my work and I love my life. I just, at this stage of my life, I'm very content. It does not mean I don't have motivation, but I truly appreciate the big and small things, the beauties in life, and I'm grateful to all the people around me. And a special shout out to the trustees of the library board. They are, as citizens, their heart's in the right place. They work so hard and they provide wise and prudent governance of the library system. They are great bosses to me. And again, thank you everyone around me. I just can't say that enough.
Yeah, and thank you. Those are wonderful words to wrap up our interview and also the series. This was actually the last installment of the Female Leadership Speaker Series. I hope everybody enjoyed hearing from inspiring female leaders in our community from different fields. And if you have missed a video or if you want to watch one again, then all you need to do is go to the YouTube channel of Loudoun County Public Library, and you can actually see them right there. They will all be available. But it has been an immense pleasure to talk with Chang Liu, the director of Loudoun County Public Library. And I thank everybody for joining us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you.